back to the Local Black Girls podcast, and today we're kind of going to be taking a little different spin. We're going to be talking about 2020, things that we've gone through, and like talk, we kind of talk about, things we overcome and experience, kind of talk about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, how it, how 2020 has actually changed our lives.
It literally affected us. It literally has changed my life. I think it changed everyone's life, but I've definitely learned a lot this year, not only about how the world works, but like myself in general. And I've seen a lot of growth in myself, and I'm really proud of where I'm at, not just like physically but mentally too. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of like, I'm going for the better, to be honest. I mean obviously nobody wanted this to happen, but I feel like I've learned new skills from like having to like switch up like my schedule that like I wouldn't if like it never happened.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I know, because you were like, school, athletics, homework, like you just had like this pattern, and you would do school, boom, 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 and you were always doing something. It's like this constant circle. And I never thought to even ask like, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you like overwhelmed? Because I was just like, Brooke can handle it. Because I think it's like the way you come off, you don't show emotion.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just the kind of person you are. You're just this strong individual, and like when you get something thrown at you, you catch it and you deal with it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish I was more like that, but I'm like the type of person where I just have a mental breakdown, and I was like, no, I need to step away.
Yeah, well, like I'm so stressed out, like especially stressed out right now because like I have so many things that are coming at me with because I do cheer, and like my cheer season's about to actually like start right now, so I have that to deal with. On top of that, I'm trying to end the semester, and then on top of that, I'm starting like a college course. So it's kind of like,
and on top of that, trying to figure out which college you want to go to, and still applying to colleges, and like still like you got a lot on your plate right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first thing I just want to talk about like things that like I want to give advice.
Okay.
First thing I would say for 2020 that I've learned, like, was the biggest thing, is to let go of your ego. Let it go. Because I'm telling you now, your ego, if you let it, it will be the death of you. It really will. Your ego can kill you. Like, for a long time, like, I struggled with confidence and, like, loving myself. And then once I fully did, I was, like, confident. And my confidence slowly turned into, like, I slowly started turning into this, like, cocky individual. And everyone around me saw it but me. And I was like constantly having you calling me out, Antonio out of all people calling me out.
Yeah.
Both my parents calling me out, like close friends, like, hey, like, who are you? Like, you're turning into like this monster of a person.
But also it doesn't help because it is like, it's really like nice to get compliments from people. Mm-hmm. But like when you're like constantly getting compliments from people, you don't really know like what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
It's kind of actually what I talked about. I know you haven't talked about this, but in my leadership class,
oh my god,
we actually talked about critical and like affirmating feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a lot of affirmating dealing with how you look.
Yeah.
And because not trying to somebody to call you ugly.
Yeah.
But I mean like you never got anybody to tell you like stop acting like that. And when you did, you didn't want to take the feedback.
Yeah, I was literally like, why are you telling me I can't be confident? People were like, no, your confidence has turned into like you now think that you're better than everyone else. And like, when I was trying to see the perspective of other people how I was acting, I was just like, no, like, shut the up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not acting any type of way. And then once I was like, well, maybe, I thought about it. I was like, maybe they are right. Maybe I need to step outside and, like, look. And when I looked, I was just like, I am acting like an awful person right now. Like, I'm just glad that I was able to, like, actually, like, look and learn. Because some people, they will let their ego kill you. Like,
yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, your ego, obviously, everyone has an ego. And when I say that, I mean that part of you that takes it to the next level. You can be confident, but don't be cocky about it. Don't feel like you have to bring other people down to bring yourself up, because if anything, that shows your insecurities.
Yeah.
That shows your insecurities. Do not let your ego kill you. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I had to humble myself.
I kind of also had to do something, new with this whole, school year, because I went from basically doing, in person my whole entire life
Mm-hmm.
to my last year of like, high school stuff like that, doing like online school. And like, I'm really glad I actually was able to like learn that skill because a lot of people don't understand or work like computers as good. So like I've gotten like really good at working computers. Like I know how to do.
Speaking of that, for all the people who are coming for us right now, talking about our quality.
Oh yeah, hold up. Like we've had 2 people that I know so far that have come. I don't know if any more people that you haven't told me about.
Not really.
But this one girl I go to school with had the nerve to
The nerve.
Yeah, she DM'd me, and basically, you know, our podcast is called The Local Black Girls, right? And
because we're black. I don't know if you knew that.
And she
but we're
took
black.
it in a way that, like, she thought that some people might find it racist, that we called it that. So, I mean, she made sure she reached out to me, she told me that. And also, I put a hashtag in with the post. I said, hashtag Black Girl Magic. But I was just doing kind of like, I just was doing, because I was just, I was just putting it out there. Because, and like, she took offense to that. And she basically thought that the podcast was excluding white people.
Because it had black in it because we're black.
Yeah, but let me also put this on record. Black is not a race. Black is a color.
Yep.
It's not a race. So I don't get how you can turn that into a race thing. But
Here, I want to make a statement. If you're offended by us having black in our title, exit. Please go somewhere else with that BS. We're not doing that. We're not.
I mean, also she also made it clear that she was not trying to start anything. But I'm like, was it really necessary for you to say that? No. Like,
all I'm trying to say is that for all the white people who try to be offended by everything that black people do, stop.
Yeah.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, baby. Don't.
Yeah, because I feel like, honestly, black people cannot even breathe without people getting offended.
Yeah. We said, even like every time I see like a black girl being hyped up on a post, right? It's always like white people like, well, all girls are pretty, blah, blah. It's like, no one said they weren't. We were just hyping up black girls in that moment.
Because we constantly have been knocked down. We've constantly been told, like, we're the ugliest, we're the least educated.
But then everyone copies us. Right. Mm-hmm.
So, like, when people hype us up, like, we finally get praised for once, but then we have the white people who are like,
no. Everyone is up there. It's basically saying all lives matter. Like, okay, we get it, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Let me calm down.
Yeah, let me get back to, you can calm down, like, say what I wanted to say, because I didn't get to continue, but, no, but then with the whole, like, online school, honestly, online school has made me, like, smarter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say antisocial.
No, I mean, also that too, but it's made me more smarter, like, I mean, I've always had, like, great grades, I've always gotten, like, A's and B's, but, like, I straight up have, like, I have all A's, I mean, yes, but, like, I feel like it made me more intellectually smart. I guess I don't know if that makes sense, but like
I can tell. We've heard your vocabulary come up. I mean, I was not saying it wasn't up there before, but you just
and I feel like I don't know. I just know how to like. I don't know. It's kind of weird to like word, but like that's why I'm kind of just like glad about the whole like online school thing because like it's made me like learn how to like study better, I guess. And, like, absorb information more.
Mm-hmm. It's taught you better learning skills.
Yeah. Because before, I mean, I just was, like, I was doing good, but not because I was really trying that hard. You know what I mean? I was kind of just, like...
like, I can do the work, whatever.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like I'm actually, like, trying a lot more. Because I'm, like, it's really easy to get behind an online school. Because, like, you have to be there in class. You have to make sure you understand what the teacher's saying. Like, it's not as, easy to, like, learn as if you were in person.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good. Wish I could say the same. Yeah. Another point I want to talk about toxic relationships. Okay. Cut it. If you're in a toxic relationship, stop. And that's like it's like a trend now. Like people are like, I love toxic relationships. Stop.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be in something toxic? Nothing grows out of toxicity.
Yeah, like I mean, I've known people who've been in relationships who didn't get out till like recently. So
like.
Multiple people, I think I can
say. A lot of people. Don't mix work with pleasure. Learn that the hard way. No, seriously, just like, I've learned a lot this 2020, and I've learned a lot about people. And sometimes, I've said this before, you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be sometimes you have to be the only person that's backing yourself. And you have to be okay with that. Because there's going to be points in time, not saying you were never there for me or anyone else, but there's going to be points in times where you have to be that person that motivates you and pushes you forward to do certain things or to get out of something. And Because what I've noticed is those friends who are in toxic relationships, you'll be the one who's telling them, hey, you don't see this is happening, and it's like they don't see it because they're so blind to that person and they're in that relationship. And I feel like some people,
it's literally scientifically proven.
It literally is. But sometimes it takes you yourself waking up, not other people in your ear.
Yeah,
that's all I want to say. I also want to talk about self-doubt, which I feel like a lot of people will go through a lot. And with this process of us starting this, she'll tell you, I was very nervous about this. Like, I was so hyped in the beginning, and then I was just like, well, what if no one watches?
Yeah.
Well, what if people don't like us? Or blah, blah. And I was like thinking all these things, but like, you can't let the doubt push you away from doing what you want to do. Because I feel like if people stop doubting themselves, a lot of people would be so much more successful and be so much more happier and be in the dream job they want to be in. And they would be so happy, because we have a lot of depressed people. Like, our generation, like, fantasizes suicide.
And I also feel like with our, we have like the most stressed out generation as well. And I think a lot of people say like we have it so easy, but actually we have it like the hardest in any other generation.
Look at our economy right now. It's terrible. And I feel like everything now is like social media. Everything's like geared around social media. And the older generations, they don't understand that. And like finding a job, and like no one wants to work a 9-to-5 anymore. No one does, unless you're like lawyer, doctor, blah. Like, no one wants to go to school anymore. Like, no one wants to work a 9-to-5. So it's like, how can I do what I want and live out my dreams? People don't know how.
Yeah, and it's also hard with, me literally not being able to even experience like the college experience, really.
Or not even being able to really experience your senior year of high school.
Oh yeah, like the fact that I get to miss out on like, school dances, prom, maybe even graduation too. We were there for basically like 2 weeks, and then they said we can't, have school anymore, and we've been online since.
You're like, toodle.
But it's also hard with the whole school thing, because it's like it's hard, like it's stressful trying to, pick out like a college you want to go to. And then at the same time, you're like, is there really even going to be like a future, you know what I mean, with everything going on?
Yeah, not even just that, but like our planet is literally going to trash right now. Yeah. Like, it's awful. Something else I want to talk on is Black Lives Matter. I went to a few protests this summer. It was crazy. And for all the people who treated Black Lives Matter as a trend, I want to say a really big F you to you. Yeah. Because my life is not a trend. It's not. Other Black people's lives are not a trend. It's not something you could post about and be like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, and then the next day post something stupid. Like, don't be about something and then not actually be about it. And what makes me upset is the people who do it because they feel like if they don't post about it, like, people will think that they're racist. Like, does that make sense what I just said?
No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's funny how people can go from one subject to another subject so easily. Like, I used to see, I literally used to see celebrities, their profile pictures were literally Black Lives Matter. Now the profile picture isn't anything like that. They used to post something like every single day. I don't see it posted anywhere anymore. It's
a trend to a lot of you guys. Yeah. It's very clear and obvious. I wanted to speak on George Floyd and Kawan Charles, which are two cases that hit me really hard, especially with the Kawan Charles case. I don't know if you know who it is. Kawan Charles was a 15-year-old boy who was found dead, face down in a ditch with his face mutilated. What happened was he was picked up from his home by his white friend and his white friend's mother. And his parents had no idea where he was. He was gone for a couple days, and they alerted the police, and the police were like, well, maybe he's at a football game, blah, blah, blah. And the police didn't do any investigating, didn't sit down an Amber Alert, nothing. No social media, no news coverage at all. And then they found his body. And then the family who took him wants to say they have no idea what happened to him. But yet the son, when they interviewed him, was saying how the family was doing shrooms and stuff like that. And was saying all type of racial slurs in the car and stuff like that. And what scares me is we have a 15-year-old brother.
Yeah.
And when I saw that case, I immediately thought of Quentin. And I was just like, looking at this picture, like, that's my little brother. And it broke me seeing that. Like, I'm tearing up right now just thinking about it. Like, it...
Yeah, I mean, it makes you think back to, this is literally parallel to Emmett Till, who's also around the same age or maybe a little bit older. Literally went into a candy shop, got some candy. Outside of the store, there was a white woman who said that Emmett Till whistled at her, and so her husband and a couple other guys found Emmett Till, took him, beat him, literally mutilated his face.
Like, literally had an eyeball hanging out of his socket.
Yeah, and his mother made sure that there was an open casket so that everybody knew
and
what
could
they
see
did.
what they did. And these men got off with no charges. And
how long ago was that?
This was what?
Around like the early 1900s, probably around that time.
No, it was like 1960s. This happened in 1960s.
So about the mid-19.
And what's crazy is the lady on her deathbed admitted that she lied.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? In the Kwan Trials case, that family, they packed up and moved. Now, during an investigation, that's not allowed. But of course, that's where white privilege comes in. And you're able just to get up and leave when you murdered somebody. You murdered somebody's child.
Yeah.
And you could just get up and leave? Like you didn't do that? Disgusting.
Yeah.
And for all the people who say white privilege doesn't exist, that is a perfect example. You don't have to wake up and turn on the news or look at your phone and see people who look just like you dying. And you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it.
No.
And I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but these are black lives we're talking about.
Yeah. This is literally our reality. It's not a trend.
It's not a joke. It's not something that you could just post about
for a couple of months and then say, "Oh, we're done with it."
It's over. It's not over for us.
Yeah.
That's our lives.
And for all you people that tell us to forget about it,
to get over it,
it's funny because it seems to still be happening now. So it has an end. Ended.
They just
because hold up.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna give you a minute. And just because slavery ended, right?
I mean, not according to the 13th Amendment, but we're not gonna get into that. We're gonna say that in Black History Month.
Yeah, just because Abraham Lincoln, abolished slavery, that does not mean...
Because he had to, not because he wanted to.
That does not mean that we're still not in slavery. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we still are. We're still in bondage. We're still constantly killed.
We watch people be
down.
lynched. I have videos on my phone. I mean, it's really messed up that I have these, but I screen recorded videos so I can post them of people being lynched. This is 2020, today, present time. There's a black girl who went missing because she went and stayed with her white roommate, and the white girl's family lynched her in their garage, and there's a video of it. No justice. These people are not locked up at all, just walking around like they didn't just commit a crime.
Yeah.
So when you say get over it, I say white privilege. Because you don't have to wake up and this is your reality. Your reality is, I don't have to see it. I don't have to look at it. Because the world I live in doesn't show me people dying who look just like me. You don't get scared when you get pulled over.
Yeah.
I am fearful for the day my little brother gets his license. I am fearful of that day.
Yeah.
God. That was a lot. That was a lot right there. Something else I wanted to talk about. Kind of really already did. Knowing your purpose. Okay, so the Disney movie Soul, we watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of give like a brief description. I mean, so it's about this black guy Joe who was a jazz teacher.
Oh, can I preface this? The reason why we say black and white is because a lot of y'all are slow. Not saying everybody, but I use black and white because it's easier. Because that's the world we live in. We use black and white to describe people. So if you're offended by that, stop. Please stop.
It's a color.
It's a color.
Not a race.
That's how we identify people in a society. Black and white, etc., etc. So stop. I already feel it. And we haven't even posted this yet, and I can already feel it in my spirit that somebody's gonna try to say something. Stop. Continue what you're saying.
So like I said, it was a black jazz teacher. His name is Joe. And he, I don't want to say this, but I mean, he dies, and he gets taken.
Kind of.
Yeah, he like kind of dies, and he's like in like kind of like the in between where like he's like about to like actually like die, and like moving to death. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to if you see the movie. If you see the
You'll
movie,
understand if you see the movie.
You understand what I'm trying to say. But basically, he doesn't want to die, so like he goes somewhere, and he meets somebody, and this
it's like this like weird in between space. It's like it's like beginning and end of life, like this in between.
So then basically, because I don't want to spoil the movie, he finds this person, and this person kind of actually helps him like find like his purpose in life and like what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And watching that movie kind of re-inspired me to continue doing what I'm in the process of doing right now. And for a long time, I felt like I was super lost. I was like in this depressive state where I was just like, I don't want to function anymore. Like I'm on some suicide shit. But I just like didn't want to. I was like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't know how to do it. And I was like, well, is that even what I'm supposed to be doing? And I was like, well, I can never know if I don't try. So that's really a big message that I want to push. Is like if you never try or push for your dream, you'll never know if you can succeed. Like that's what life is all about, is failing and gaining and failing and gaining. It's a constant up and down. It's a wave. It's a constant. So it's okay if you fail. It's about, did you get back up and try again? Like that's all that matters, is if you try again. And there's going to be so many people who are going to tell you that you're never going to make it or you're never going to do this, that. But you can't listen to those people, because those are the type of miserable people who failed and could not get back up. And they want you to be in the same place that they are. And you can't listen to those people. You can't. But, yeah.
I mean, that's, another thing I know I need to learn, I need to stop doing is like, I stress out a lot because this is what I do. A lot of people think just in the present. What I do, I think forward a lot. I just keep thinking about like what's next, which I feel like stresses me out because I don't think about what's here. I think about like, okay, like this is going to happen. I have to do this to get to there.
I mean, it makes you a good planner. You plan ahead very well.
Yeah, but like it stresses me out like so bad. Like I have like 50 million things going on in my brain right now. So I mean, that's even though it's like you zoom.
It's like all these like.
But like no, that's just something I'm gonna definitely try to like work on a lot more. I mean, I got better because I mean I had like a little like 2-week break from school. I'm back now today, but like the stress is back now. But I'm like, but I have to definitely try to work on not thinking so much ahead to the point like I get like stressed out and like worried and stuff.
Yeah. Don't stress yourself out. Like because that stress like literally takes a toll on your body.
Okay. I guess that's why I messed up. But
makes your hair fall out, but like etc. Like you can gain weight. You can like stress is just like a whole bowl of cluster.
Yeah. But I definitely just feel like once I get because my first trimester was almost done. Semester. When I get my second semester, I think it's going to be a lot more easier because I'm going to have a lot less classes because after this try, I have like pretty much all my requirements out of the way. So
that's good. Should we talk about Corona? Nah. I don't want to get into the conspiracy stuff because people are gonna think we're crazy.
No. Maybe a different time.
Maybe a different time. But what I want to say is we're definitely planning some good stuff for Black History Month. Like y'all, we going in. What's up with the one member? It's like it was like Shakita, Rita, get the stuff, y'all. We going in deep. Guys, when I tell you we're going back to the beginning.
Oh yes.
And when we say beginning, we don't mean slavery because that's not where Black people started.
Oh no.
Baby, we were kings and queens. Kings and queens ruling dynasties. Period.
Yeah.
So, for y'all, we just want to teach y'all a lot. Like, I feel like we have a lot to give, and we hope that y'all receive it. But just know we have a lot coming for Black History Month, so please stay tuned. Yeah. Turn on your post notifications.
Oh yeah.
Please. Look in the description box. We got some good stuff in there. We're promoting people. We got some Black bloggers in there. We got some other Black YouTubers in there. Yeah. Some soon-to-be Black businesses in there. So just make sure you're looking in there.
And make sure you all subscribe. Like, come on now, subscribe. Like our videos.
We've seen the people who are viewing.
Yeah. So come on now, like, subscribe. Come on.
Just tap that subscribe button, please. Come on, just follow our social medias. Those will be down there too. Thanks for listening, and yeah, peace out. Bye.